queen.
Bring the mega death.
We've seen the big Rockstar cow taking it in a very long time. I mean, that's such a strange pick, but Tyrael and Tesla is going to be the response. So Tesla in his rework state is going to see a little bit of love. And Tyrael, well, that suggests to me that they know what's coming from Darksided and they're ready to respond themselves.
That's it, Skimmy. When we were looking at Tassadar and his changes and really letting the dust settle, you and I, we thought we might see a double support coming out where Tassadar once again reigns supreme, and I think this could be it with Citywalk bringing it out. Who they want to pair it with, I'm thinking something like a Valor would go quite well. So whether Darksided are going to sense that and ban it off the table, I'd like to see.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine that they're looking to go for a double support comp here and just fully invest in that hyper carry, be it Greymane or be it Valor Tracer, not so much when it comes to this map, but that's definitely what they're sort of showing here. But let's flick it over to the side of Darksided right now. They've gone for Zul, so it gives them arguably the best wave clear when it comes to this map in particular. And then we've got Chromie as well, which is a flex pick on this map in particular. We've seen in the past, it seems to be Demise, the one actually really enjoying that pick. So, I mean, it's already so scary. Chromie can just 100-0 you as if we're playing League of Legends.
Correct. Chromie can really be quite a formidable foe on this map, really, because a lot of the action happens either in lane or around the turn-in points, and Chromie can poke for days, stall the turn-in for days. She can be so strong. We have seen Demise do a killer performance on Chromie in the past against none other than Nomia, to the point where they almost were able to take a game off Nomia back then. So that's why Demise is Chromie. If that is Demise playing it, I'd be a bit worried if I was in Citywalk's shoes. Not trying to talk it up, but he has definitely proven his worth on that character.
Well, should we humble him a little bit? Because I'm pretty sure the reason that they lost that game against Nomia is because he threw the game.
By being out of position. But really, I think it was just all the pressure that Nomia brought back as well to force sort of, I guess, those reactive plays, as we said. You don't want to be reactive. You want to be proactive in a game like this.
Absolutely, Van. You couldn't have said it better myself. Ufa and Vala taken away, and that changed the direction of Citywalk quite a bit. Malfurion and Nazebo, and I tell you what, you would not expect to see a Tassadar with a Nazebo lifesteal when it comes to chucking out those snakes and spiders. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that as a strategy before, but nonetheless, we'll have to see how that pans out later on with it. And Rag and Lieutenant Morales are the final picks for Darksided here, feeling very comfortable with their backline, that they're not going to be dived upon too heavily, so they can rock the medic.
Oh, Morales is going to give them a lot of lane sustain, and there is that Tracer with Valor being banned off the board. The Tracer was picked up to complement nicely with the Tassadar, with the Malfurion, and give their team some sustained damage. But I'm really worried because all they have as a frontline on Citywalk side is Tyrael, and I wouldn't really call him a main tank.
I mean, there's a reason we have a double tank meta, right? So I'm feeling a little bit cautious. And I mean, I said Tracer, he's a good pick combined with the Tassadar, but when it comes to this map in particular, you're looking for wave clear, not as much as you're looking for the appeal to actually kill people. So they've got a bit of an interesting comp in the sense that Nazebo looking to reach the late game, Tracer wanting to try and find some early game kills, having to see how the Citywalk squad rocks up. Two different types of teams. Darkside are currently 1-0 in the series. And I mean, yeah, it's actually going to be Hacky playing Chromie. So we know about Hacky's Chromie. We talk about it all the time when we're in Discord.
Mm-hmm. We sure do. Let's see what Hacky can do. Let's see if he's going to outshine Demise, his fellow team member. I really think that there's going to be an internal joke between those two to see who's the better Chromie.
Well, I'm sure after this we can hop on the old kebab shop and have a bit of a yarn with him and say, congratulations, mate, or unlucky, better luck next time. But here we are. It's waiting for those players to ready themselves up, load with those potatoes, and jump into game number 2 of the first best of 3 here for week 2 of the playoffs. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Obviously, plenty of skins to give away later on. But let's jump into it, Vandy. Let's introduce these teams. I'll kick it off on the left-hand side. Currently 1-0 in this series. Demise is playing Zul, Hacky on Chromie, Moops on Lieutenant Morales, Vikrek on ETC, and Booty on Ragnaros.
And on the red side, we have Citywalk with Blank on Malfurion, Pizza Chow on Tassadar, MKL on Tyrael, New Guardian playing Tracer, and Malo on Nazebo.
I am so curious, Vandy, how they are going to make this composition work on the side of Citywalk. It is interesting, to put it lightly, to put it cleanly. But I'm sure they have something up their sleeves. If they chose this map knowing the way that Darkside would like to play, surely there is something that we are missing. We're not reading between the lines.
What I wanted to say was, with the 2 supports, it's going to be whether 2 supports can triumph over just one support, essentially, which is just going to be Morales. And Morales, yes, she's a heal bot, but she can only heal 1 target at a time. The same can be said about Malfurion, but really it's going to be about whether they can out-sustain what Morales is bringing to the table.
Well, I think it's going to come down to having to see how they can utilize these picks. I mean, they have the Mouth looking for the ability to land a root, and then they're going to have Tracer trying to find that snipe on a member, but Lieutenant Rice is going to lock them up quite healthily, and Tyrael is the first one to get caught out there. Can he get the redemption? He can't. Booty is being topped up. He is being absolutely supported. He is being pocket-healed, if you've ever turned the coin before. And Newt Guardian desperately trying to make some work happen. Played Falstad last time. Wasn't feeling as confident on that. This time he's looking to say, hey, I can be mobile. I don't have to use my flight. I'm going to be jumping all across the map.
Yeah, that's it. Moves definitely pocketing. Oh, Malfurion did drop in all of that. So that was it. So really, we're seeing Morales. She's having a much easier time, I think, in being able to support the team, because it seems to be a more common draft that we're used to.
Well, I mean, we tend to see Morales when they feel quite comfortable that there is very low risk of CC or dive. I mean, right now, what is the dive? You're looking at a Tyrael. I mean, if you're forcing a Judgment out, I don't know if that's the go-to. We'll have to see, but Tracer is really your only threat, and Tracer, if she's not that far ahead into the game, isn't really going to be much of a scare. You pop the safeguard on yourself, and you just laugh.
See, what happened there was really Newt Guardian was getting a lot of harass onto Hacky. Yes, he was forcing Hacky to miss his skill shots, but it didn't matter because with Moops pocketing Hacky, there wasn't anything he could do, even with the Pulse Bomb. With Moops just spamming out the healing, what's going to happen there, It's whether we focus the Morales, whether we focus the Chromie. That's going to be the calls coming out.
We can start to see here that the superior wave clear is allowing Darksided to have a full level lead this early on into the game. Only 2 minutes into this one, and they're already finding those advantages. 3 kills so far. Newt Guardian once again looking for the pick on towards Hacky, but you can see as soon as Newt Guardian jumps in there, Moops has his number. He's ready with the healing beam. He's ready to make sure that person cannot get 100 to 0'd. And it must be so frustrating for Newt Guardian. You had to wait and see how he decides to play this one, because when you're in that mentality of like, well, how do I actually kill somebody? You start to become a lot more reckless.
Yeah, it's more about getting his team to assist as well. It's not going to be a one-man job. And speaking of team, MKL getting caught out, not being able to go through the wall to his team. I do like the soak coming out from Citywalk. They're showing a lot more restraint this time. And a pause has been called by Demise. There is a bit of lag. So we're going to jump to a quick pause, which will give us a breather to look at the talents.
Well, it will give us a bit of a breather. Now, let's actually touch on this Tracer bit a little bit more. Let's dissect it. He has actually opted for Tracer rounds at level 1, which is typically something you'd pick against heroes that have the ability to go invisible. So that's suggesting to me he's wanted to try and chase them through those bushes or those air vents, if you will. Then actually has opted for Is That a Health Pack, which is a very uncommon pick. I mean, that's going to increase his regen and healing, but I mean, you're sacrificing the ability to do extra damage for the sense that you have better sort of rotational ability, which is not Tracer's strong point. So I'm a bit baffled by that, but unless you got anything else to add to that, Vandy, I mean, what do you think?
No, you summarized it quite nicely with It's That a Health Pack. Really, Tracer just feeling like she needs to take that talent so she can be more durable, so she's not going to get instantly blown apart. But really, you are Tracer. No matter what talents you pick in trying to go defensive, I think it's all about aggression is her best defense in this case.
Well, let's look at this one. It's Colors Embrace at level 4, the newly reworked one, 90% lifesteal. I mean, that is a juicy number, and you have to feel if that is going on Tracer, he can literally run into the fight and just tank it for free like it's a mini Divine Shield.
Exactly. As long as you're not getting CC'd and you're doing damage, you're going to get brilliantly healed. And it's a disgusting number. 90%. That's insane. If you see Tassadars even using it on themselves, he can just really just go from low to full in a matter of seconds.
Ooh, did you see that? Tracer, I mean, Hacky. I always call him out about being a one-trick when it comes to Chromie, but he knows how to play the hero, and that Tracer got shot. No recall, no chance. Looking for a second kill, but no. The face melt is going to bump him out of that one. They're coming in for the redemption. Can they finally collapse onto this? The Bone Prism comes on down. 4 members diving without a care in the world. Moops with the healing beam says, on you go.
Oh, the Hacky bidets. Look at the poke that he's doing. It's with Chromie, it's interesting. When you do have a team that can really get the crowd control down for you, so you're sitting ducks, that's when Chromie is scary because you have no chance of running away. It's guaranteed going to hit with that setup.
Well, this is what, generally speaking, happens when you pick up those web weavers. You find yourself an incredible lead right there. 2 levels. Bit of a similar story and a similar narrative as the last game on Infernal Shrines. This is exactly how Darkseid love to play. They love to play in these small maps, bring out the aggression, force those fights. And right now, those fights are definitely working in their favor. Still 5 kills to 0. Nobody has died between both games 1 and 2 for Darksided. And I'm sure a record like that looks really good when you're trying to pad those KDA stats.
With Demise as well, he's gone full push, lane sustain build by opting into empowering Skeletal Warriors to return health and mana. That's showing that he
doesn't Vandy. Let's look at that. Booty actually jumped into the fort, 1v4 essentially. He swung the hammer, he bought enough time for that team to rotate on down, and just like that, a double kill was picked up for their efforts. Such an aggressive call there by Booty to do, and this is the rotational effect that they can have now. Everybody into the medevac, flying around, and they're going straight for the boss.
They are calling the shots, giving them, like, this is where you get scared. This is why Morales can be such a good pick on this map as well. You can just medevac around the map as well. If you pick up something in the bot lane, it doesn't matter. Within a moment, you're there, right at the boss. That's a great pick. We're seeing each member on the team of Darksided was picked up with some sort of purpose in mind. So Ragnaros, yes, if we get the 4, it's giving us extra control there. We've got Chromie for the poke. We got, Morales giving us the medevac. Like, everything, they definitely thought about their composition very well.
Well, let's continue that point a little bit further. Let's actually break down their ultimate choices. You see, they've got the slowing elements between not only the Skeletal Mages, but the slowing Sands, but then they have the Mosh Pit and the Sulfurous Smash. So, 2 very impactful ults from both ETC and Ragnaros that can be complemented so heavily by the Skeletal Mages and the slowing Sands. And let's not talk about it too much, because I say they're going straight in for this keep. They are pushing with the boss. They are ensuring that they find some early game pressure, just like last game. I believe it was like an 8-minute keep. They're going to make sure that is the exact same story this time around. Sulfurous Smash comes across, but it's not even needed. The damage was done before it even landed. Keep is dead. The boss is still 0.5% healthy, and they're just looking to pick up member by member. And Vandy, I mean, this is just disgusting.
By City Walk, like, they are in a world of pain. They're not remotely anywhere near level 10. They've got a boss on their core. They've got just all members of Darkseid healthy as well.
They're going for this core, but they're having to back away. They're getting a little bit low when it comes to the health. Zula's the first one to overextend and actually drop here. Booty has no mana left in the tank. Vikrak actually slides into the zombie wall. Huge play by Mello. Really impressed by this guy. And the time trap perfectly positioned to prevent MKO with the follow-up aggression. But they don't have level 10. They're so dangerously close that they can't mount an assault to come back. And Darksided do get out.
This is the reprieve they needed, though, for City Walk. With that camp, pushing in mid, with that kill that they got on Demise as well for overextending, for staying. New Guardian putting out a lot of aggression. I am impressed with his Tracer. He's constantly making sure that he's figuring out where the team is, trying to lay down some damage, and just trying to do his best, really, for his team. But I don't know, I'm just worried because, like I said, anyone that Tracer is trying to unload on really moves as the best on Lieutenant Morales to counteract that. By healing a single target, by Tracer only being able to focus a single target, it's like, kind of counterpicked in that regard.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is why their comp seems a little bit disjointed when you compare them side by side. I mean, they're going for the sanctification here. I mean, they won't have that diving potential to try and really take down the Morales. They're really heavily relying on Nuke Guardian to get into the back line, get the job done, and get himself out into harm's way. So Twilight Dream will be utilized. They will have the ability to try and clump things up there. But look at that, he's just caught straight away. Forced to burn the recoil as a result of that Bone Prism. The preemptive Dragon's Breath for his positioning was good. He does have the charge to jump away with the blink. And the Slowing Sand is going to provide a lot of zoning potential, but to catch out another member once again. Bone Prism is used. Eldrin's Might has already gone down. Sanctification is burnt as a last-ditch effort. He has to run. It does split Darksider down. Oh! The Soul of Human Smash coming across. Not quite enough damage to seal the deal. And Nuke Guardian still trying to do the impossible. 1v3 finally meets the face of Ragnaros. Swung with the hammer. And Vandy, they do pick up 1 kill. It's not complete ace. It's 9 kills to 1.
Oh, I'm just feeling so bad. Okay, they also, Malo is Nazebo as well. I don't know if he's going to be able to reach mid or late game. They've only now hit level 10 just recently. And he hasn't had a lot of time to soak to get the stacks going to make Nazebo that viable pick. And there's the Mosh as well. 3-man
Mosh pit right at your gate. You are not safe even when you're home. Dimensional Shift will utilize the ability to stay safe with those 35 gems, but 2 members at your keep are gone. Top lane is infinitely pushing Web Weavers to join. And now you find yourself in a position of, let's just pick this base apart one by one. And like last game, ensure that there is no chance of us losing. 3-level lead, 11 kills to 1 now. Once again, looking for another pick. Nuke Guardian desperately trying to find something wherever he can. He doesn't have the pulse bomb ready to go just yet. But that charge is going up quickly, and he's looking to try and execute that backline.
Oh my goodness, look at the action right there. Booty as well, getting low, but look, he's used Molten Core. This is where it gets hectic.
Sulfurious Smash was burnt so early on, but it doesn't even matter. Molten Core, as you touched upon, was used. And it did ensure that they pick up Tyrael only a couple of seconds before Sanctification was ready to go, but this surely means they're on the core. This surely means they're going for the keep. Triple cannons! That has to be the core. Gone for sure. Down to 40%. Now Furion picked up. Twilight Dream doesn't even get to come off. And that core is dropping by the minute. CityWalk put up a commendable effort. They do pick up 1 kill for their troubles, but Darksider on the night, just too strong.
They really got the ball rolling and they continued to steamroll with it. That's exactly how Darksider likes to play things. It's a little bit different to Nomiya, I guess. Much, much more aggressive to how Nomiya would play, but it's all about getting the picks, then really making sure that every fight that they can then force, then onwards, they're going to take it.
Well, Mandy, I want to touch upon this MVP nomination. I mean, I'm looking at those stats. I'm looking at the impact that this guy had on the game. And I'm talking about Hacky on Chromie. I give him so much stick for being a one-trick to this. Obviously, he's not, and that's why he's in this position on a top team. But, you know, I don't like versing Chromies. I'm sure CityWalk didn't like versing Chromies. But what is your take on it?
I hate versing Chromie, and the fact that Hacky managed to do double the amount of hero damage to the next contender, which was Booty, doing 21k damage, that's a commendable effort indeed. Just so much damage, getting all the poke down, using the slowing sands to zone as well. So congrats, Hacky. You're our MVP for this match.
Well, there you go, guys. Darksider do pick up the win in round number 1 for week 2 of the playoffs, going 2-0 in the very first match on the night up against CityWalk. So stick around. Plenty more ANZ Heroes of the Storm coming up after this.
Thank you for that, Skimmy and Vandy, for an amazing cast, and well done to Darksider for picking up the victory over the CityWalk lads. Unfortunately, CityWalk will have to go back, lick their wounds, and requalify again on the Tuesday nights, but they will, of course, have the opportunity to earn some juicy points, which is all that matters towards the end of the season, because we're going off that to qualify yourself for the finals, which I believe is on July 1st. Yes, July 1st. So there you go. Yeah, getting the confirmation now, July 1st. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back after the break, we're going to be drawing that raffle. So we're going to do !GS HOTS into the Twitch chat if you have not done so already, and it'll put you in the draw. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back very, very shortly.